So today's guest is a bucket list interview for me. I have often thought that if I could start a second career or I were a hell of a lot smarter, I would be doing this type of work. But Clair Valeriano gets to do this type of work every single day. She's a deputy coroner in South Carolina, and she uses her social platforms to not only educate her followers, but also offer a peek into this fascinating world of what it's like to be a deputy coroner. And I cannot wait to dig into it all with you, Clair. Thank you for being on the podcast. I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. So when I was preparing my questions, I had to cut out like so many because I had so many. But I do have a couple of basic questions, and then I want to just dig in.
Yeah, of
So how and when did
course.
you know that you wanted to be a deputy coroner?
Yes, I get this question all the time. So, from a young age, I have always been interested in the death and dying process.
Hmm.
And I think my family kind of was a little concerned there for a little bit. But as a young child, I was very into it. And I remember specifically that my sister at the time was dating a firefighter. And he would tell us stories, and I was just so enamored. And I remember he would tell me a story and say, oh, an individual, they got in a car crash here and they passed away. And I would say, can we drive by? It
Yeah,
was like I wanted to be there
yeah,
at the scene and see what was going on, right?
yeah.
So when I was 16, I took a driver's ed course and the coroner was there. And it's actually the coroner that I currently work for now.
Get out.
And I said, yeah, small world, right? Like it was
Yeah,
crazy how full circle moment, how I'm now back in my hometown and able to serve with him.
yeah.
But I said, this is the job for me. And so ever since then, I have just really just been trying to further my education and experience to get to where I am now. So,
And so what that leads to the next question, which is what kind of education do you
yeah.
need? Like what did you major in, or did what do you need for this?
Yes, absolutely. So, forensics is, there's a lot of discrepancies in it, unfortunately. So, really, the best thing that I can tell anyone that wants to pursue this career is look where you want to work one day. So let's say you want to be a death investigator in New York City. There's
Okay.
going to be different requirements for education to work in New
Okay.
York City, say a smaller town, right?
Yeah.
So, my experience is I have a bachelor's of science in psychology, but I knew I wanted to further my education with psychology, and I went into forensics and got my master's of biomedical forensic science from Syracuse University.
Okay.
However, a lot of individuals that I work with are former law enforcement, paramedics, nurses. Um, but again, there's a lot of discrepancies on what agency you want to work for and what they require.
Okay. Okay, that makes
Mhm.
sense. And so, okay, so I want to hear it from you versus Google, but just
Mhm.
give me your job description. Like, what is your legit job description?
Yes. So a deputy coroner is an individual that determines cause and manner of death.
Okay.
So the way that we are able to determine cause and manner of death are by three things. So the first is going to be a scene investigation. So we're going to
Mhm.
go to the decedent's house or the scene where they died, and we are going to look for drugs, alcohol, weapons, what, ultimately killed this person, right?
Right.
The second thing we're going to do is we're going to look into their social and medical history. So we're going to look, in their medical charting. We're going to interview family and friends to see, is there a history of drug or alcohol abuse? Is there a history of suicidal ideation or attempt? And then the third thing we are going to do is we are going to attend an autopsy. Now, we do not perform the autopsy.
Okay.
That is done by a doctor or forensic pathologist.
Okay.
But all three of those things, we will determine cause and manner of death and sign that death certificate as such. In
Okay.
addition, we have other roles that I think a lot of the public just doesn't really realize that we do this as well. But we are going to be the people that notify family when an individual has died.
Ah.
So we're going to go knock on someone's door in the middle of the night
Oh
and
God.
give them the worst news.
Is that as horrible as it
Yeah, that's
sounds?
my. Yep. Yep. Every single one I dread.
Oh God.
Normally in my life, I like to be the positive person that
Right.
people want to come to and interact with.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have to be that death notice, and it's horrible. But I think that I, I just feel like I'm happy I'm the one that's doing it, to be
Yeah.
honest, because
Yeah.
I have a lot of empathy with people. I'll sit on the floor with them while they're crying. I will listen to the decedent's life story. I'll take it all in because that's what I would want.
Hmm.
Um, so it's horrible,
Yeah.
but that's part of our job.
Right.
The other thing that we do is we identify individuals. So even though, someone dies in their house and their secure residence and, their wife is saying, yes, this is my husband, Joe Schmo, right?
Right.
I have to identify that person not by just personal recognition. I have to fingerprint that person.
Okay.
If someone is really decomposed, and unfortunately in those situations, their face is not recognizable. They're
Right.
bloated. They don't look like themselves.
Right.
So what I will do is we will try to get fingerprints. We will send it off to our, lab that we have, our fingerprint laboratory in our county, or we'll send it off to the FBI if we're, really desperate. Unfortunately, in decomposed individuals, their hands kind of slip with skin.
Yeah.
So we're not able to really get good impressions. The other thing is we will do it through dental records or compare antemortem, postmortem x-rays and say, oh yeah, that guy has a knee replacement and we can tell and that's him.
Yeah.
And then the other big piece of the puzzle that we do, and I think a lot of people really don't realize this, is we will help with trends, health trends. So have you ever seen on the side of a bucket, that you get it, I don't know, Lowe's or whatever, and on the side
Yeah.
of the bucket, there's a little child and they're leaning into the bucket and there's a big X over it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
So that is because of a medical examiner or a coroner in the past has had cases where children have fallen into buckets and unfortunately died. So we will report that, hey, this bucket is an unsafe device for a child to be left alone. And therefore,
Interesting.
we're going to report this trend. And so people will, um, you know, understand that and put it out in the public. So we are a part of public health as well.
That's amazing. So, okay. And so what's the
Yeah.
difference between a coroner and a deputy coroner?
Okay, perfect. So the coroner is the top, the tippity top. They are an elected official,
Okay.
and a coroner can be anyone. I mean, it depends on what state you're in. So specifically to my state, anyone can be a coroner. You just have
Okay.
to run for election, right?
Okay.
Um, and this is an elected individual. It could be a doctor that really wants to be a coroner, or it could even be your hairdresser. It could be anybody. So they are an elected official.
Even if they
Um,
don't have any
the
training?
deputy, correct. So again, elected official, anyone can do it. However, I would say that I think probably the community is going to want to elect a coroner that
Somebody.
has experience
Yeah.
and has done the job, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But again, I mean, anyone can run, anyone can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So a deputy coroner, you do have to have education and experience. So
Okay.
we work for the coroner.
Okay.
And we are obviously employed. We have to go through an interview process.
Right.
We're not elected. So yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's dig in. So walk us through the moment that
Yeah.
you get the call. First of all, are you like on call 24/7 or do you work like 9 to 5? Like and then what does that look like when it's like we've got a death? What happens?
Yes. Okay. So our office is really great. We, with our scheduling, we are not on call.
Okay.
However, a lot of agencies, they are on call. So again,
Okay.
if you want to go into this job, make sure you ask what your schedule is like. So
Okay.
I work 12-hour shifts. And like today, I'm off. I'm off tomorrow and on Sunday. I have a great weekend ahead
Yeah.
of me.
Yeah.
But we kind of rotate, kind of like nurses' schedules. Also, like EMT, police, where it's a typical 12-hour schedule. We work 2 days, we're off 2 days, work 3 days, off 3 days. It makes sense if you put it on paper.
Okay.
But again, there are a lot of agencies where you are on call, and I feel like that would give me a lot of anxiety because I would never be able to rest.
Right. Well, fully relaxed. Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not on call, but we are required to, we have a take home cell phone, and we
Okay.
are required to communicate with our families. So like yesterday I worked, and if I had a decedent yesterday, a case yesterday, I would have to follow up with the family today. Just
Okay.
because I want them to have answers. I don't want them to wait till Monday when I'm back at work. That's not
Mm-hmm.
fair.
Mm-hmm.
So I will follow up in that
Okay.
regard.
Okay.
But I'm not on call.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about when a death comes out, right?
Okay.
So we work the case from the time of the 911 call to signing that death certificate and getting the decedent to a funeral home. So we are
Okay.
very involved in the whole process.
Okay.
As we should be. We're signing their death certificate. We need to know everything about our decedent because we're taking care of them and we are signing an important document.
Right.
So what will happen is the 911 call will come out and EMS and police will be dispatched and they will confirm the death. We have the ability to pronounce death in some situations, like a decomposed body, for example.
Right.
We
It's
know that
obviously
they're
been
no
dead.
longer,
Yeah.
right. But EMS will pronounce death. Police will be out there. They have control of the scene. So that's really
Okay.
important.
Okay.
Police have control of the scene, whereas the deputy coroner, we have control of the body.
Okay.
So that is our jurisdiction. So we are going to go out if it is determined that this is a non-natural death. So we're not involved in every death, and I want that to be really clear here.
Okay.
We are going to go out to homicides, suicides, accidents, and undetermined deaths.
Okay. All right.
And what we'll do, we will arrive on scene and we will get the information from EMS and police. Just who is this decedent? How were they found? What is the reason why the person called 911? Did they call 911 because of a cardiac arrest? Did they call 911 because the individual was shot? Were they found hanging in their closet, right? So we're going to get that information.
Okay.
Then what we'll do is we'll do a general walkthrough with law enforcement. They have to have a search warrant. We don't, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Because anywhere that there is a deceased individual, we're able to go in immediately.
Okay.
But what we'll do with law enforcement is we'll walk in with them because we want to be, doing the same, investigation in tandem, right?
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll walk in, we'll do an initial walk through the scene. We're looking, is there any drugs, alcohol, weapons? Was the scene secure when the decedent was found? Did someone kick down their door? Things like that. What I'll do is I will take photos of the exterior of the building or the home that I'm at. Then I will come inside. I will take photos of every single room in the house.
Okay.
And then I will take pictures of the decedent. And what I like to do is where the decedent is at is what I call their throne. That's just what I call it. I don't know where I came up with that.
Okay.
But let's say that there is a decedent that is on the couch.
Okay.
I am going to be looking around the couch to see, is there anything that could cause the decedent's death that, they're sitting on the couch. Maybe they decide to, I don't know, snort some white powder, right?
Right.
That is what I'm looking for. So I'm looking at their throne. I'm looking to see what's around them. And then I'm taking photos of the decedent. And then I will fingerprint the decedent. I will sometimes take blood. It kind of depends on the case, but sometimes I'll take blood. And then I will obviously identify the individual. So I'll look at, their photo ID, and I will take their fingerprints, things like that. And then we will place them in a body bag, and they will go to the coroner's office to either get an autopsy or an external examination, whatever is needed to determine their cause and manner of death.
How do you determine, or how is it determined who gets an autopsy and who doesn't? Is that ordered by the
Uh-oh, I
family?
lost you. I'm so sorry. I cannot hear you right now.
Oh,
I don't know why. What happened?
I don't know.
Let's see. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear
Okay.
you. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
So what happens when, like, how is it determined who gets an autopsy and who doesn't?
Right. So that's a great question. If someone has a lot of medical history, say it's a 65-year-old male who has a history of drug abuse, but he also has, coronary artery disease, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, diabetes. What we'll do in that case is we're really determining if his cause of death is due to the drug intoxication, right? So we don't need to do an autopsy on that individual because we can just run toxicology and we can see was there drugs on board and then did these drugs cause the death. If not, what we can do is we can look at their medical history and see that they have just a laundry list of natural diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we'll do is our doctor will determine, okay, yeah, he has a long history of heart disease, right? So we're going to list that as hypertensive heart disease as his cause of death.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds like we're guessing. We're not. The thing that we are really the most concerned with at the end of the day is the manner of death, which is, again, is homicide, suicide, accident, natural, undetermined.
Okay.
So not everyone has to have an autopsy for us to figure that out.
Okay. All right. Is there a like a overarch, or is there, what's the most common cause of death that you have experienced? Like,
so I actually think we really do have a lot of natural deaths.
mm-hmm.
I feel like I sign a lot of death certificates that it's called atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, which is just basically the vessels of the heart are have plaque in them and they're hardened over time. So I feel like I do have a majority of natural deaths, but I would say it's weird because where I currently am at, I see a lot more of suicides.
Really?
Yes, specifically gunshot wounds. And I don't know why I see that a lot here. So in my old job, I worked at a medical examiner's office up north, and in a city, huge population. And I feel like up there, it was more, fortunately, it was a lot more decomposed individuals and we didn't know their identity, unfortunately. And typically those were just naturals. They were just decomposed and that's why we had to go out there.
Yeah.
But the trend up there, I would say it was more overdoses and decomposed bodies that someone would find.
Okay.
But here again, fortunately, it's more suicides.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so roughly how many deaths do you tend to in a week?
In a week? Oh, wow. So that's hard because I am in a smaller population right now. I think our county is about 600,000 right at it.
Okay.
Whereas my old job that I worked for was 2 million. So up there, I was working maybe 2 scenes a day, and then maybe 3 hospital cases a day, where someone has, been, shot and gone to the hospital and been later declared deceased. Now here it's hard because I would say it kind of fluctuates. In a week, I probably work maybe 3 scene responses.
Okay.
And then maybe 3 or 4 hospital deaths.
Okay.
However, again, this is kind of a little side note. But where I worked up north was a medical examiner's jurisdiction. So I was doing the same exact job minus signing the death certificate because that's done
Okay.
by a doctor.
Okay.
Coroner jurisdictions, we sign the death certificate because we are
Okay.
deputized. We take our oath and we say, yep, we are going to be able to sign death certificates. We can do that.
Right.
So, so we're more involved
Gotcha.
here, where my cases, my goodness, like one case for me, I probably spend 16 hours on it.
Okay.
Whereas the job I was working at before, I probably spent maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Describe
even
the
though I'm
most.
not going, Mhm.
Oh, keep going.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, even though I'm not going out to as many scenes here,
Yeah. Yeah.
is still a lot of work and a lot of paperwork and a lot of investigation.
Yeah.
And it's kind of more behind the scenes.
Gotcha. So
Mm-hmm.
describe for me the most memorable death that you have had to tend to and work.
Yes. So I think, and this is just me, but I feel like if you talk to a lot of individuals that are in this line of work, I think a lot of us will agree that the things that are most memorable to us are things that we can relate to. So, I am newly married. I don't have children. I'm a young woman, if you will, right? And I think that seeing young women's deaths, especially suicides,
Mm.
that gets me
Hmm.
every time, and it's very emotional
Hmm.
because I can relate that that is a young woman that is in the prime of their life, and they have decided that this is what they want to do, right?
Hmm.
Those are very memorable, especially little things like I'll see women and I'll look at their fingernails and they'll be painted.
Mm.
And I am like, wow, like they have their nails done and then now they're deceased. It's very
Hmm.
emotional.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, I don't. Is there? Do you have to like shift into some sort of like other mental mode to be able to
Yes.
navigate these? I
Oh, yes.
cannot even imagine.
I am so good with being one person at work and then kind of being a different person at home. So, I always give this example where we go into a lot of places that unfortunately they're just really sad situations where people are kind of living in dilapidated homes and there's insect activity and it's really sad, right? So when
Yeah.
I'm there, I can desensitize and a roach could crawl across my foot and I'm not going to care. A
Hmm.
bat could fly in my face and I'm not going to care.
Yeah.
But if I was off the clock and I was at home and that happened to me, I would be screaming and
Yeah.
jumping up and down and So I'm kind of like I can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
But still I think it does. I mean, we would be lying to say it doesn't affect us.
I cannot imagine.
I think that mental health is super important for
Yeah.
this role.
Yeah.
I think that everyone should talk to someone, I
Hmm. Hmm.
truly do.
Yeah.
Because we do take on a lot. We take on a lot of grief. We see suffering of communities. We see people living horrible conditions,
Yeah.
children malnourished, lost a parent. Where are they
Mm.
going to go? I mean, horrible situations. And I think that we take that on and we
Yeah.
are, we're in this job because we want to help people and we want to be the voice for the dead and we just want to be there for our community truly. And,
Yeah.
I mean, ugh, we take it on, girl. We take it on.
I would assume that this is largely a male dominated field. Is that still accurate? Or is that
Actually, no.
changing?
It's changing, girl. So
Well, that's what I was gonna
I
say.
would
Like, have you
say,
gotten any sort of like not pushback, or like, are people always like, "Oh my God, a girl doing this type of work"? Like, or are we past that?
yeah, I would hope we're past that. Come on,
Yeah.
it's 2025.
No.
Girls can do anything, right? Like,
Yeah.
well,
Of
let's go.
course. Yeah.
But I would say that a lot of women are very drawn to this field, right? Like,
Yeah.
think about true crime. Come on.
Yes.
All
I
the
know.
ladies are popping their popcorn and
Yeah.
watching the true
Yeah.
crime
Oh,
shows. Yes.
guilty.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. Um, so I am seeing a lot of women in this field. So again, the job I
That's
worked
awesome.
at up north as a medical examiner jurisdiction, mostly women. I would say there
Really?
was one, two, maybe three out of the 12 investigators were men.
Okay.
But here, where I am in South Carolina, there are a lot of males here,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of women as well. I would say it's pretty equal.
Okay.
But I am
That's
just seeing
awesome.
a trend where a lot of women want to go into this field. I get a lot of questions on TikTok and Instagram, and it's a lot of women saying basically the same thing you were saying is,
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to go into a male dominated career. Like, what is your experience with it? And honestly, I haven't had a bad experience, to be honest with
That's
you. I
awesome.
haven't.
That's what I was hoping you were going to
Yeah.
say. I really was.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm happy
Yes.
to
And
hear that.
yes. And I will say, quick shout out to my coworkers. Oh, let me tell you, I love every single one of them. I work with about, I think are we up to 24 investigators now? I think. Or deputy coroners. We're up to about 24 of them.
Yeah.
Those people make going to work great. And
Yeah.
again, with the whole like having to talk to someone, those are my people that I talk to. Like, I can't come home to my husband and, he works in corporate America. I can't come up
Yeah.
to him and say, listen, I
Yeah.
had this happen and OMG, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't really do that. He doesn't
It
relate,
won't
right?
register.
And
Yeah.
but my my coworkers can, and
Yeah.
definitely we definitely bounce things off of each other. We are our therapy, and they're just great. I'll do anything for them. I love them.
That's awesome. All right. So tell me
Yes.
what's your favorite thing about your job?
Ooh, I think my favorite thing, honestly, I'm living the dream every day. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to do this since I was a little girl, and I
That's
made
so
that
awesome.
happen. And
That's so awesome.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm so proud of myself. I really am. It's such an amazing career, and you meet so many amazing people along the way, like in the community. Oh my gosh, like I would say my favorite thing, honestly, as much as I hate notifying someone that their loved one is deceased, I would say my favorite thing is interacting with those families. Because at the end of the day, they are so thankful for what I
Mm-hmm.
do. And
Mm-hmm.
I constantly, I had a case where it was very traumatic, where I think an individual, they hung themselves in their closet, and it's really jarring to see, and their loved one found them, right? Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I go out there, I do my investigation, and the person that found them said, I am so sorry you had to see that.
Mm.
Like, they care for me. Like,
Yeah.
they care for what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
They realize how upsetting it is, and they're like, I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry you have to see this every day. And
Yeah.
it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Okay. Do you feel like you're a badass? Because I kind of feel like you're a badass.
Thank you so much. Am I a badass? I don't know.
Just smile and say yes.
Yes, girl. I'm a badass.
Yeah.
I would say I'm a badass in my brain. I love education. I just want to know everything about this job. I really do. I want to know everything. I want to know the science behind everything. I want to know, you name it. I want to know
Okay.
it. So I think my brain is a badass. Me being like knocking down doors or something, I'm not doing that. Leave that up to law enforcement. They can do that all day, every day.
Yeah.
But if you need me to come to a scene and tell you what's going on, I'm your girl. I'm a badass.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
All right. So I have 3 questions that I ask everybody.
Yeah.
What's the single most impactful experience that you have had since you've started doing this work overall?
Ooh. Most impactful. That's hard because I just think of all these people I've served in my life. I mean, I've seen probably over, 2,000 deceased individuals in my lifetime, because I've been doing this since 2017 in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So let me think. The most impactful, I, I know what it is. I know what it is. It would be educating people on this career,
Mm-hmm.
through my TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
but in general, like there's so many people that are so interested in this field, and I think it's so impactful that I can tell them what this is like, what I do every day, hopefully get them to want to work with us one
Mm-hmm.
day, and be that little girl I was at 16 who was so
Mm-hmm.
inspired, and like, hey, a few years later, that little girl or that little boy has grown up and they're now a deputy coroner and they get to live the life they want, right?
Yeah.
And I see that a lot. I get a lot of messages on TikTok. I'm like, oh my gosh, you've inspired me to go into forensics or
That's
go and
so
get my
awesome.
master's, or oh yeah. And
Yeah.
I just really love this career so much that I want people to go into it, but
Mm-hmm.
I want them to stay in it.
Yeah.
And that's my goal, is retention. And I think, going off on a little side tangent here, but really, to keep people in this field, you got to have good leaders. You
Yeah.
got to have good mental health
Mm-hmm.
access. You need to
Mm-hmm.
have, whether it's a therapist that your county or jurisdiction provides to you. You got to have good coworkers. You got to have good pay. You got to have good
Mm-hmm.
pay,
Mm-hmm.
because there, there are
Yeah.
people working sometimes, depending on the pay, working a second job. So they
Yeah.
got to go home after their 12 hours. They're tired. They've
Mm.
taken on a lot.
Mm.
Now they got to go work a second job.
Mm.
So I would say that the most impactful thing, again, is educating people, getting people in this field, keeping people in this field. And honestly, like, I want to change it. I want to make sure that everyone's taken care of, because we're doing a lot, and we deserve to be taken care of.
That's awesome. What has the work that you do taught you about living?
Live your life. Do what you want to do. If you want to go to Europe, spend a couple thousand, just save up and go. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Go
Yep.
see the world. Go interact with people. Just go and live your life. That's so important. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
was up in the north for about 7 years with my husband, and all my family's here in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And after taking this job, I said, I'm going home. I got to be with my mom. I got to be with my
Mm-hmm.
stepdad. I got to be with my siblings. Um, Life's too short. You know,
Yep.
I
Yep.
want to be with them. I want to be near them. So I came home to my hometown. I was really used to, big population, death investigating, and being in a big city and seeing some wild stuff that make national news, and just really big cases. And
Mm-hmm.
I came to my smaller hometown. It's not completely small, but smaller hometown, because
Mm-hmm.
I needed to be with my family, and
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Are you afraid to die? Why or
Yeah.
why not?
Currently, yes, I'm afraid to die, because I feel like I have so much more left in the tank. Right? I
Mm-hmm.
one day want to be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I one day I want to travel the world. I want to meet more people. I want to impact more people. I want
Mm-hmm.
to. I have so much I want to do, and I don't want death to come to me early, right? But
Right.
we can't predict that. We can't.
That's right.
So I hope that every day I'm doing at least one thing that's bettering me or another person, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'm scared to die in that way. However,
Yeah.
I would say I'm not scared to die, because if I have met so many just amazing people through EMS, police, nurses, doctors, and I know that those people care. That if I
Yeah.
were to die, I would be taken care of, and you know, I think in that regard, I feel comfortable, because I know that in my county, I would be taken care of if I died, right?
Yeah.
Um, but not anytime soon. Not anytime soon.
No rush. No rush. Well,
All right.
Claire, I feel like I could ask you a gazillion more questions, but I am going to just say a very gracious thank you for being on the podcast. Listeners,
Yes.
I will add all of Claire's links in the show notes so you can keep up with her on social. And Claire, just thank you so much. It's been wonderful speaking with you. You are a breath of fresh
Yes.
air.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'm so thankful, and I can't wait. I don't know if you ever want me back. You got me. You got
Well,
me.
you may regret saying that. You may be a regular. All right. You take
Well, thank
care.
you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
If you like this episode of Dying to Know More, be sure to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode.